Hello everyone, and welcome to this video on making authentic borscht. Borscht is more than just a soup. It's a culinary journey, a taste of history, and a symbol of comfort and hospitality in Eastern Europe. Today, we're going to dive deep into the heart of this iconic dish, exploring its rich cultural significance, its fascinating history, and of course, the secrets to making it sing in your own kitchen. Whether you're a seasoned chef or a curious beginner, I'm here to guide you through every step, sharing tips and tricks passed down through generations. Get ready to tantalize your taste buds and impress your friends and family with a bowl of borscht that's bursting with flavor and tradition. So, grab your aprons, sharpen your knives, and let's embark on this culinary adventure together. By the end of this video, you'll not only know how to make authentic borscht, but also appreciate the cultural significance it holds in kitchens across Eastern Europe. Stay tuned and let's get cooking. While borscht is enjoyed throughout Eastern Europe, its roots run especially deep in Ukraine. Here, it's not simply a dish, but a national treasure, a symbol of identity and a source of immense pride. Ukrainian families have been passing down their cherished borscht recipes for centuries, each adding their unique touch to the pot. In Ukrainian culture, borscht is more than just a meal. It's a way of life. It's the heart of family gatherings, festive celebrations, and even everyday meals. The aroma of simmering borscht, wafting from kitchens across the country, evokes a sense of warmth, comfort, and tradition. But borscht is not just about nostalgia and tradition, it's also a testament to Ukrainian resourcefulness and culinary ingenuity. Made with simple, humble ingredients like beetroot, cabbage, and potatoes, readily available in the Ukrainian countryside, borscht transforms these basic elements into a symphony of flavors. The vibrant red hue of the soup, derived from the beetroot, is a feast for the eyes, while the sweet and sour notes, balanced by the richness of the broth and the tang of sour cream, create a culinary masterpiece that is both comforting and invigorating. So, as we delve deeper into the world of borscht, remember that we're not just learning to make a soup, we're embarking on a journey of discovery, exploring the heart and soul of Ukrainian cuisine, and experiencing the magic that happens when simple ingredients are transformed into a dish that nourishes both body and soul. Our culinary journey through the history of borscht begins in the 14th century. Imagine, if you will, the bustling markets of medieval Eastern Europe, filled with the sights and smells of fresh produce. Among the vibrant displays of vegetables, the beetroot with its deep crimson hue and earthy aroma would have been a common sight. It was during this time that people began experimenting with this humble root vegetable, discovering its versatility and potential to transform simple ingredients into a nourishing and flavorful soup. While the exact origins of borscht remain shrouded in the mists of time, culinary historians believe that early versions of the soup were likely simpler than the ones we know and love today. Section 2. From humble beginnings to culinary icon. These early iterations of borscht were likely thinner in consistency, made with whatever vegetables were in season, and often relying on fermented whey or sour milk to provide a tangy depth of flavor. As centuries passed, the recipe for borscht evolved, with each generation adding their own unique twist to the pot. The introduction of new ingredients from around the world, such as potatoes and tomatoes, which arrived in Europe after the Columbian Exchange, further enriched the flavor profile of borscht. Section 3. The Beet's Journey. A colorful tale. The beetroot itself has a fascinating history, originating in the Mediterranean region and cultivated for its medicinal properties long before it became a culinary staple. Ancient Romans believed that beets had aphrodisiac qualities, while in medieval times they were used to treat a variety of ailments, from digestive issues to headaches. It was the Slavs, however, who truly embraced the beetroot, recognizing its potential to add color, flavor, and nutritional value to their cuisine. They began cultivating different varieties of beets, experimenting with different cooking methods, and incorporating them into a wide range of dishes, including, of course, borscht. Section 4. Borscht spread a culinary migration. As trade routes expanded and cultures intertwined, borscht began its culinary migration, spreading throughout Eastern Europe and beyond. It found its way into the hearts and homes of people from all walks of life, from humble farmers to wealthy merchants, each adapting the recipe to suit their own tastes and available ingredients. In Ukraine, borscht became deeply ingrained in the national identity, a symbol of hospitality and a source of comfort and nourishment during long, harsh winters. At the heart of every authentic borscht lies the humble beetroot, the ingredient that lends the soup its signature vibrant hue and earthy sweetness. When selecting beets for your borscht, opt for firm, smooth-skinned beets that are free from any blemishes or soft spots. The size of the beets can also impact the flavor of your borscht. Smaller beets tend to be sweeter and more tender, while larger beets may have a slightly earthier flavor. If you happen to have beet greens available, don't discard them. These leafy greens, often overlooked, can be chopped and added to the borscht along with the cabbage for an extra layer of flavor and nutrition. While beets may be the star of the show, it's the supporting cast of vegetables that truly brings borscht to life. Cabbage, with its delicate sweetness and satisfying crunch, adds texture and depth to the soup. Choose a firm head of green cabbage, removing any tough outer leaves before finally shredding it. Carrots contribute a subtle sweetness and vibrant orange hue, while onions, sautéed until softened and translucent, provide a savory base for the soup. Potatoes, peeled and diced, melt into the broth, adding body and heartiness to the dish. Some variations of borscht also include other root vegetables like parsnips or celery root for added earthiness and complexity. The foundation of any good soup lies in its broth, and borscht is no exception. While you can certainly use store-bought broth, making your own from scratch allows you to control the flavor profile and create a truly authentic borscht experience. Beef broth is the traditional choice, simmered with beef bones for a rich, savory depth of flavor. For a vegetarian option, vegetable broth works beautifully, and you can enhance its flavor by adding a few dried porcini mushrooms during the simmering process. Fresh herbs like dill, parsley, and bay leaves are indispensable for infusing the borscht with aromatic complexity. Add them towards the end of the cooking process to preserve their vibrant flavors. Seasonings are kept simple, with salt and black pepper to taste, allowing the natural sweetness of the vegetables and the richness of the broth to shine through. Section 4. Preparation is key tips and tricks for success. Before you embark on your borscht making adventure, there are a few key preparation tips that will ensure success. Firstly, make sure to thoroughly wash and chop all of your vegetables before you begin cooking. This will save you time and ensure that everything cooks evenly. When it comes to beets, some cooks prefer to roast them rather than boiling them, as this method intensifies their sweetness and imparts a slightly smoky flavor. If you choose to roast your beets, wrap them individually in aluminum foil and place them in a preheated oven until tender. Another helpful tip is to cook the beets separately from the other vegetables. This prevents the red beet juice from staining the other ingredients and ensures that each vegetable cooks to the perfect texture. Section 1. Preparing the beets, the foundation of flavor. Alright, let's get our hands dirty and start creating culinary magic. Our journey begins with the heart of our borscht, the beets. Now you can either roast them or boil them. Both methods yield delicious results. If you're short on time, boiling is the way to go. Scrub your beets well, leaving the skin on, and trim off the tops and root ends. Place them in a large pot, cover them with cold water, and bring them to a boil. Reduce the heat and let them simmer for about 45 minutes to an hour, or until they're tender when pierced with a fork. While our beets are taking a relaxing bath, let's move on to the next step. Section 2. Building the base, sautéed aromatics and savory depth. In a separate large pot or Dutch oven, we'll build the flavor base of our borscht. Heat a couple of tablespoons of oil or butter over medium heat. I like to use sunflower oil for that authentic touch. Add a diced onion and sauté for a few minutes until it softens and turns translucent, like little shimmering jewels. Now toss in a couple of diced carrots and cook for another 5 minutes, stirring occasionally. The goal here is to soften the vegetables and release their natural sweetness, creating a symphony of flavors that will dance on your palate. While these lovely vegetables are getting acquainted, let's check on our beets. Section 3. Simmering the soup. A symphony of flavors unfolds. Once the beets are fork tender, carefully drain them, reserving the vibrant red liquid gold. That's pure beet essence. Let the beets cool slightly, then use your hands or a paper towel to slip off the skins. Chop them into bite-sized pieces or grate them depending on your preference. Now add the chopped or grated beets to the pot with the sautéed onions and carrots. Pour in your broth of choice beef, chicken, or vegetable. All work wonderfully along with the reserved beet cooking liquid. Bring this beautiful mixture to a gentle simmer and let it work its magic for about 20 minutes. This allows all those gorgeous flavors to meld and harmonize, creating a symphony of taste. Section 4. Serving and enjoying the essence of borscht. While our borscht is simmering away, let's prepare the garnishes that will add the finishing touches to this culinary masterpiece. A dollop of tangy sour cream is a must, its creamy richness complementing the sweet and savory flavors of the soup. Fresh dill, roughly chopped, adds a burst of freshness and aroma, elevating the borscht to new heights. And let's not forget the crusty bread, a perfect companion for soaking up every last drop of this hearty and flavorful soup. Once the borscht has finished simmering, ladle it into bowls and garnish generously with sour cream and dill. Serve it piping hot and savor every spoonful, knowing that you've created a dish that's not just food, but a taste of history and tradition. Enjoy! As we've journeyed through the history and preparation of authentic Ukrainian borscht, it's fascinating to discover how this beloved soup has evolved across Eastern Europe, each region adding its own unique twist to the recipe. From the rolling hills of Poland to the vast expanse of Russia, borscht is a culinary tapestry, woven together by shared traditions and regional nuances. While the basic ingredients remain relatively consistent, beets, cabbage, broth, and a touch of sourness, the variations lie in the subtle differences in preparation, additional ingredients, and serving styles. Some regions prefer a sweeter borscht, while others favor a tangier flavor profile. Some add meat, while others keep it strictly vegetarian. The beauty of borscht lies in its adaptability, its ability to reflect the culinary landscape and cultural preferences of each region. In Poland, borscht, known as barszcz, often leans towards a sweeter flavor profile. Polish cooks often add a touch of sugar or honey to balance the earthiness of the beets and the tanginess of the sour cream. Some variations also include dried wild mushrooms, which impart a deep, earthy flavor to the soup. Polish borscht is typically served with a side of uska, small savory dumplings filled with a mixture of wild mushrooms and onions, adding a delightful textural contrast to the soup. Another popular accompaniment is pampucci, fluffy yeast rolls that are perfect for soaking up every last drop of the flavorful broth. Across the border in Russia, borscht takes on a heartier, more substantial character. Russian borscht often includes chunks of tender beef or pork, simmered slowly in the broth to infuse it with rich, savory flavors. Another distinctive feature of Russian borscht is the addition of smetana, a thick, tangy sour cream, which is generously swirled into the soup just before serving. In some regions of Russia, borscht is also served with a side of salo, cured pork fat, which adds a salty, savory element to the meal. Whether enjoyed as a warming winter soup or a refreshing summer meal, Russian borscht is a testament to the country's love of hearty, flavorful cuisine. As we've explored the rich history and deliciousness of borscht, it's clear that this soup is more than just a meal. It's a culinary legacy, connecting us to Eastern Europe. In a world of fleeting culinary trends, borscht remains a steadfast presence, a testament to simple ingredients transformed into flavors. Today, borscht continues to evolve, finding its place on Michelin-starred menus and in home kitchens worldwide. Chefs are experimenting with new ways to interpret this classic dish, incorporating modern techniques and global flavors while honoring its traditional roots. From vegan versions with roasted vegetables and coconut milk, to deconstructed borscht as an elegant amuse-bouche, the possibilities are endless. But the most enduring legacy of borscht is its ability to bring people together. Whether it's a family gathering around a steaming pot of soup, or friends sharing a meal that celebrates their heritage, borscht creates connections and fosters a sense of community. It's a reminder that food is more than sustenance, It's a language that transcends borders, bringing warmth and comfort. So the next time you crave borscht, remember you're partaking in a tradition that has stood the test of time. And as you savor each spoonful, let the flavors transport you to Eastern Europe, where the warmth of hospitality and the aroma of simmering borscht fill the air, inviting you to experience this timeless culinary treasure.